730 days. That's the average time it takes a major piece of legislation to crawl through a modern government, but in that same window, AI compute power has scaled by a factor of 10. The math of governance has officially broken. We aren't just watching a debate, we are witnessing the total collapse of the state's ability to keep up with the machine. I'm Alex. This is Beyond the Model, where we decode the AI revolution reshaping your world. Last week we saw why billionaires are betting $1 trillion on AGI. Today, we reveal why the laws meant to control them are already obsolete. The speed of change is the primary enemy of the law. In the last 24 months, we've moved from basic chatbots to models that can reason, code, and generate cinematic video. Meanwhile, the European Union, the world's most aggressive regulator, has spent that entire time just trying to define what a general-purpose AI even means. By the time the ink is dry on a regulation, the technology it targets has often been superseded. We are trying to catch a supersonic jet using a horse and carriage, and the gap is only getting wider as recursive self-improvement begins to take hold. Look at the landmark EU AI Act signed in 2024. It was designed to categorize AI by risk, but it struggled to handle the reality of open-source models like Meta's Llama. In the United States, President Biden's October 2023 executive order attempted to use compute thresholds as a trigger for oversight. They set the bar at 10 to the 26th power floating point operations. But here's the thing that keeps AI researchers up at night. As algorithms become more efficient, we are getting a GPT-4 level to performance out of much smaller, unregulated clusters. The hardware yardstick is already shrinking. But here's what nobody tells you: big tech actually wants regulation. When Sam Altman or Sundar Pichai testify before Congress asking for guardrails, they aren't being altruistic. They are practicing a regulatory capture. If you make it illegal to train a model without $1 billion compliance department and a massive government license, you effectively kill every startup in a garage. You turn AI into a utility controlled by a handful of incumbents. The part they don't show you in the headlines is that safety is becoming the ultimate corporate moat, locking out the open source movement. The part they don't show you is the lobbying budget. In 2023, AI-related lobbying in DC increased by nearly 200%. The goal isn't just to stop killer robots, it's to ensure that the definition of safe aligns perfectly with the architectures they've already built. It's a classic play from the tobacco and oil industries: if you can't beat the competition, out-regulate them. They are moving the goalposts while the referees are still reading the rulebook. This creates a world where compliance is a luxury that only the richest companies on Earth can afford to buy. We've seen this before with the Brussels effect, where EU standards became the global default for privacy via GDPR. But AI is different. Unlike a physical product or a static database, AI is a dynamic, shifting process. You can't just audit a neural network once and call it safe. It evolves every time it's fine-tuned. Governments are realizing that you can't regulate an output when you don't fully understand the black box that produced it. The traditional tools of the state, fines and bans, are fundamentally incompatible with the borderless, intangible nature of weight files. Everything I just told you is accurate. But there's a dimension to this story that almost no one in the media covers: we are entering the era of sovereign AI. While politicians talk about regulation, the intelligence agencies and military wings of those same governments are building their own unregulated models. There is a massive, unspoken hypocrisy at play: safety for thee, but speed for me. Nations are realizing that if they regulate their domestic tech industry too harshly, they will lose the AI arms race we discussed in Episode 4. Geopolitics is the ultimate trump card against regulation. This shift is creating data havens. Just as tax havens emerge to protect capital, we are seeing the rise of jurisdictions with minimal AI oversight. If California passes a restrictive bill like SB 1047, companies simply move their compute clusters to Dubai, Singapore, or the cloud. That Splinternet is no longer just about censored content, it's about the very laws of logic that govern your AI assistants. Your digital life is about to be partitioned by regulatory geography, where the intelligence you can access depends entirely on which flag flies over your server farm. This fragmentation has a hidden cost for you, the viewer. As the world splits into different regulatory blocks, the alignment of AI becomes a political tool. A model regulated in the EU will have different ethical constraints and biases than one trained in the US or China. We are no longer just regulating safety, we are regulating thought. The part that keeps researchers up at night is that we are essentially trying to hard-code human values into a system that learns from the entire, messy internet. It's an impossible engineering task disguised as a legal one. By the end of this decade, we will see the rise of AI on AI regulation. The models will become so complex that no human lawyer or auditor will be able to verify their compliance. We will have to use smaller, monitor ARIs to watch that frontier AIS. This creates a recursive loop of machine-led governance that removes humans from the loop entirely. We are building a digital bureaucracy that moves at the speed of light, leaving our three-branch systems of government in the dust. The compliance moat will be the most valuable asset of the 2030s. So, what should you do this week? First, audit your own career for regulatory fragility. If you work in a highly regulated field like finance or healthcare, your AI tools will be the slowest to arrive but the hardest to disrupt once they do. Second, start looking for the compliance moats in your industry. Who are the incumbents using safety as a shield? That is where the money will be. We are moving toward a world where a permissionless innovation is dying, replaced by a licensed, corporate-sanctioned version of intelligence. The stakes are nothing less than the democratization of the mind. 3 things to take from today. First, regulation is currently being weaponized by incumbents to kill open-source competition. Second, that the Brussels effect is failing because code moves faster than borders. Third, look for regulation moats when choosing your next career move. Remember that 0 from the start? Here's what that actually means. In a world of zero effective containment, the only regulation that matters is the one you build into your own systems. Next video on Beyond the Model, the energy crisis, why AI is eating the global power grid. If this changed how you see the law, or subscribe. We're just getting started.